All right, so this is a new portion we're doing as well. I think we'll probably do like one a week of these where we just sort of talk about like kind of movie news and stuff that's going on. Like I said, mostly in film, but it can be TV shows too. Just stuff that's on our mind and something we definitely want to talk about after we heard the news. They are apparently doing another Secret of NIMH movie. Not a sequel, and it's not animated, technically. It is a live-action CG film of Secret of NIMH. And who's doing it again?
The writer of Ice Age 5.
Ooh!
No, wait, and get this. And the producing team behind the Brothers Grimm.
That masterpiece? Mm-hmm. Oh! I'm excited, but no, it gets better from there. How did they describe it in the article that you read?
Something to the effect of a hyper-intelligent rat runs into a comedic troupe of other lab rats.
Comedic? Like they'll be wild and make pop cultural references and be like, word.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But,
I will say yes. Yes, they will.
And hijinks ensue until they become super smart and go on a killing spree. I added the killing spree part, but...
No, they might, because they also want to turn this into a franchise, correct?
Yeah, they have hopes, at least the article I read, of turning it into a franchise.
Because we already saw how well the franchise element of Secret of NIMH was turning out with Secret of NIMH 2.
The Secret of the Ooze.
Yes, timeless classic.
And Secret of NIMH 3, Timmy in Time.
You know, that's what I'm gonna call, like, the next commercial special, just The Secret of the Ooze. Because I already called one The Quickening. They'll just always be, like, you know, bad sequel titles.
Eventually we'll need the retakening. But...
So, yeah, I'm always open. I will say, hey, give people a chance, you know, for anything, but just everything about this sounds really bad. The Secret of NIMH is one of my favorite movies. It's spectacularly animated. It's wonderfully told.
And I do get this a lot. People are like, well, what do you think about it, Rob? Just whatever he says about Secret of NIMH, add ditto to that.
Yeah, no, it's just...
You like it so much, I just let you go on about it, but we pretty much agree, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, no, it's one of those films where it's like, I remember watching as a kid, and like... I felt like it treated me like an adult, which I really like, but there was enough kid stuff to keep me entertained, yeah.
You know, that I think NIMH is the best, but you still had An American Tale, Land Before Time,
yeah.
You know, they were all dark and gritty and didn't talk down to us really all that much.
But Secret NIMH especially was like, I always look at that like, how is this rated G? I mean, there's like some gruesome... You know, grim stuff.
Kill Nicodemus.
Yeah, there's like old...
It'll crush his bones.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
They just squash him at the end of that movie.
Well, spoilers, but yeah. But yeah, no, it's one of those like gruesome family films, but it still balances out because it has such a good main character, and it is completely timeless. You can watch that movie anytime,
I was talking to a friend
and it
about
won't be
this.
dated.
I was talking to a friend about this a couple weeks ago because he hadn't seen Secret of NIMH. And I kept racking my brain to try to find another example, but unless I'm wrong, and maybe there's an example out there, but I couldn't think of it off the top of my head, it is the only animated feature starring, as the protagonist, a single mother. It's not about the kids. It's not about the dad.
Oh, the mother's usually dead in the movie.
Yeah, and I'm just like, and it may be the only one, at least as an American film. I couldn't think of another one off the top of my head. I was like going through all the Disney movies. I was going through even other Bluth films, and I'm like, you know, even some of the Warner Brothers stuff. I'm like, I can't think of one.
Yeah, no, it is I mean, this is one of those films like I could do a commentary on. I love it so much. I mean, I could just talk forever about this movie. And here's the thing. The idea of doing like a remake or whatever, even a live action one or CG anime, whatever you want to do, it is based on a book, and the book does have differences. I don't even think like the stone was in the book. I don't think like the supernatural element was not in there.
A lot of people who don't like the movie don't like it because it added that element.
Yeah,
to it,
so I have not read the book.
So you could do it closer to the book.
Yeah, but
I somehow
the writer of Ice Age 5...
I just somehow get the impression from the description I read and the team they're putting together that if it's closer to the book, that's just a happy accident. I don't think they care.
So, I mean, Brothers Grimm, I've seen, and I love Terry Gilliam, but that is not a good movie. And even he admitted that he took that directing thing because he just needed a job.
A paycheck.
Yeah, he said,
That was a paycheck
he said,
movie
I
for
read
Terry
this
Gilliam.
script, I didn't like it, but I needed a job. So he did
Insert
it.
Terry Gilliam laugh here.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not a good movie. But yeah, and the idea of turning into a franchise, I really don't get. So it's, I'm not saying
Continuing Secrets of Nim. How many Secrets of Nim are there?
But yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, it's not that it can't work, it's that A, it's very unlikely it'll be anywhere as good as the anime one, though anything's possible, and B, given this setup, it's very unlikely that'll be good at all.
Well, I'll tell you this, I think you were way more kind to it. I'm normally the first to be like, well, we'll wait and see. You can never predict that it's like Spock at the end of that Abrams Star Trek movie. I'm like, no, not this time. Not this time. I'm like, I have zero faith in this. Like, reading the description, normally I'm just like, because the example here would be James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, the guy who wrote Scooby-Doo. And that movie's terrible. I know some people are like, no, it's a satire. It's
Now, to be fair, that movie was starting off as an adult satire.
Yeah.
So
and
again, you could kind of be like
derailed.
the studio,
and the
whatever.
thing is, who the hell knows if that was James Gunn's fault, or if that was the director or the studio, or too many notes from executives, or focus groups. So that's the example. But let's be honest here. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. That was my favorite movie last year. We're not aiming for high art with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, this is a good, fun, dumb, ridiculous, awesomely entertaining comic book movie. If you had said, yeah, we're getting the team together that did the Scooby-Doo movie and Transformers, and we're giving them The Diary of Anne Frank. No.
Yeah,
that's not,
that doesn't quite gel.
Is it possible? Sure, in that Dumb and Dumber 1 in a million chance. And then Jim Carrey's like, so you're saying there's a chance. Like, yeah, if you want to go that route. But
to quote Robot Chicken, it's very unlikely.
Highly unlikely.
So the only way I can see this being good is just trying as best you can, I guess, to stick to the book, because at the very least you can have people that say, well, at least it's closer to the book. But the whole idea, I just see Stuart Little, that shitty movie that they did, the guy who did Haunted Mansion did that, and it's I could just see Mrs. Brisby wearing khakis and a sweater and just being I don't get
Please
it,
tell me Timmy will be voiced by Michael J. Fox.
I mean, and it's just...
Or no, wait, this would be more like a prequel, so, Mr. Brisby or whatever.
It's one of those where it's
Jonathan, yeah.
if someone was just to say the bare bones, this is what this story is about, back in the 80s when it was made, it sounds like the movie they usually would have made in the 80s is going to be made now. If Don Bluth did not step in and say, hey, I want to make this a really serious, good film that actually treats kids as very adult.
But according to the chart, we need them to be more hip.
Well, and it's... Secret of NIMH is not... It's not a story that's demanding to be remade, and it obviously has a cult following, but I can't see it enough where it would really be hey, this can equal big bucks.
The only way I could see it remade is if you gave it to a Brad Bird, somebody in Pixar who's taking this seriously, or a European animation outfit. But to let MGM just be yeah, we're gonna do live action humans with CGI rats like Alvin and the Chipmunks, and no.
Yeah, that's the other thing I think of too. I think of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
No.
By the way, 4th sequel coming out, by the way. I found out.
Hey, we got a franchise with chipmunks. We got this story about rats. Crossover!
Maybe that is it. Maybe it's
that's the end game.
That'll be the animated rodent equivalent of Freddy versus Jason, or the Avengers.
Frisbee versus Alvin. Who will win?
The Chip Vengers. Alvin and the Chip Vengers.
Everyone loses.
So, I
guess what bothers me is I just saw Song of the Sea this weekend. And after coming out of something like that, and to come home and read about this, Like, it was like that scene in A Few Good Men where Jack Nicholson just looks at them all with such contempt. He's like, "You fucking people." Like, just all
Was
of
a
you.
dream, son.
Yeah, it's just like, that's all I could think. It's just like, see, and that came out of Europe. That was an Irish, I don't know how they do it in Europe. Like, I would say it's Irish, but then when you look at the credits, like 8 billion different groups from different country. Like, but, so, that was an amazing movie, and I'm just like, a 2D animated film. That was incredible. Like, if you get a chance to see it, go see it. It's only showing at, like, art house theaters, but... So to see something like that and just be jealous. I mean, I am right now jealous of what's going on outside of the United States when it comes to animation.
Well,
Like,
there's
when it
some
comes-
good, like, we did get stuff like the Lego movie and stuff.
Yeah,
like
but it's
that.
all 3D. I'm talking about 2D
Oh,
animation.
oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
medium we fucking invented. We invented it. And nothing out here. Like, I'm super jealous, like, of
I think
all
the
these
closest
other...
we have is Gravity Falls and Adventure Time.
No,
like, that's
it's
about
true.
it.
It's true. I was arguing this, that the closest we have to what's going on elsewhere in Japan and Europe is on TV. Which is fine. I'm
And
saying
even
our,
then, not much.
yeah, our TV shows are great, but like you can't compare with the sort of budget you could throw at like, 2 hours of a major motion picture. Like Gravity Falls does not look like Song of the Sea or the classic Disney Renaissance.
They are
There's only
doing an
so
event. I
much
found they are
you can
doing an
do.
Adventure Time movie, and if
Yeah.
I'm right, I think it's hand drawn. So I mean, that could be.
I'm hopeful.
Maybe that could bring it back.
I'm hopeful because this is embarrassing, really embarrassing for us as Americans, and American pride. I'm like, we suck at this right now. It's
The
terrible.
hand-drawn, yeah.
Yeah, 2D
That's
hand-drawn
well for
animation.
movies, yeah. Well, no, because
the
there are
3D
none for movies.
The 3D Pixar stuff and DreamWorks stuff is fine, but that's all there is. Like, if you want 2D animation, I have to go to all these overseas sources to get it.
Yeah, well, we are, but you know what it is? Maybe we're slowly replacing like the hand drawn with stop motion because we are getting like the box trolls and Coraline and
We
stuff
are.
like that. Maybe that's like the trade off, which is like fair enough because that's been dead for a while too. But it's like,
But
I
even
really miss
even
the
stop motion,
hand-drawn.
and I love stop motion, and stop motion has its own magic to it. Really, 3D CGI is my least favorite of those three mediums.
And there's great.
But there's still
I mean, we
great.
both
There's
realize
still great
stuff.
stuff.
about
I mean,
it,
How
yeah.
to Train Your Dragon and some of these films are gorgeous. So I'm just saying, if you were asking me to choose, I would say it's my least favorite. But I'm not saying it's very good.
Yeah.
But even then, like stop motion, like there's something about hand-drawn 2D animation that's just magical. There's just something about it, and we're missing that now. And so to see something like that overseas and being like, oh my god, why can't we make something like that here? And then read that news and be like CGI rats and live action based, and have something as perfect as the old Don Bluth film. I'm just fucking assholes.
And it's funny because I think people are always like, oh, you always sort of pick on Don Bluth for his later films and stuff like that, and I do. That's part of what we do. But I mean, it's like
good. It's not always his fault. I mean, God knows people do things for paychecks,
we don't
too.
know the stories, but. The first, I mean, not just his early career, but I mean, like, those are some of, like, the great animated films and the most unique. I mean, they look like Disney, but it's like Disney with just this incredible edge, like, even beyond, because Disney, to be fair, the fairy tales but, like, when they got dark, they got really dark. And this one was just like if the majority of the movie had Disney villains in it. That's why I always felt like with Don Bluth, it's like, well, yeah, you'll have like sort of a good main character and a side character, but it's like most of the surrounding environment is Disney villains. And it just had this wonderful edge to it and this wonderful maturity to it and this wonderful charm and this innocence. And like I said, it is completely timeless. I mean, those early films are 100% timeless. You can watch it now as opposed to when it came out and still get just as much out of it as you do.
It kills me too, because considering his later career recently and everything, I bet he would kill to return to NIMH if they were doing this seriously. Like, no, we want to do an actual good movie that explains the backstory behind NIMH, and we want to make it 2D animated. I'll bet he would jump on board that if they asked him to.
I don't know if I want to know. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Again, part of the charm of Secret NIMH is the mystery. I love that you never really see Jonathan in it.
I'm
love
not
that.
saying I need to see it. I'm just willing to bet as
If you're gonna do anything.
someone like Bluth, who has gotten sort of backed into some of these films later in his career, like he may look at that and be like, man, I would jump at an opportunity like that. But Nope, we need our CGI rats.
The only way I could see it work, and it's like, I pray they go down this route. It's unlikely, but I can see possibly, like, you know, if they make the mice and the rats and all the animals and stuff look actually very realistic and still keep it kind of quiet and kind of dark, because that was, even though they look like Disney characters in the anime one, there was still sort of this brutal darkness to it, and I think you could still kind of do that and, you know, show this harsh world if you made them look realistic and you made the animals, granted they talk, but they still move very realistic, and you just keep that harshness to it. That's the only way I can see it working.
The problem is dark and gritty just doesn't guarantee. Like, you could do it like that and it could still be a crap story.
Well, no, but it's at least be a step closer to, you know, something at least what the original source material was.
I don't know. I can't. I'm trying, because as I said, Guardians of the Galaxy this year is the poster child for don't judge a book by its cover, but man, and I'm normally so forgiving of like, well, wait and see. I'm the same way Batman vs. Superman. Everybody's like, either like, it's gonna be awesome or it's gonna be hated. What do you think? I'm like, oh, wait and see. Ben Affleck's gonna suck. I'm like, well, people said the same thing Mike Keaton. Wait and see. This one just, I can't. I just can't.
I'm a touch more open, but not much.
You did, because I saw your original post, and you were open, like, well, maybe we did like this, and I called you up. I'm like, why are you so kind to this? It's like, well, maybe. Then when I told you, the writer of Ice Age 5, the team behind Brothers Grimm, there was this, he had this, like, I'm on the phone with him, and I just heard this long sigh, just, yeah, that does sound pretty bad.
It sounds bad, but it doesn't mean it will be bad. Like I said, I'm still open.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm wrong.
So here's praying to God that we can get something good out of this, that, you know, we can get a good film. But like I said, I mean, there's gotta be a lot of effort and probably a lot of fighting against studio execs. If you really want to get this film made and have it be good and anything like either the original movie or the book, like, there are gonna be, like, fights up the wazoo with, you know, whoever's financing it. Like, this is way too dark, you can't do that, you gotta have a song, you have to have them say a catchphrase, that'll be dated in 2 years, you know, but it's not impossible, it's just very unlikely.
What up, Mrs. B?
Yeah, no, like, that shit's coming. I mean, you know that's like, you know, we need another Alvin and the Chipmunks. Can't they sing a song? Can't they? So, yeah.
Well, Disney, you remember the story about fucking, Bridge to Terabithia. How apparently the Disney executives originally were just like, well, can't she live?
Yeah, can't she not die?
And the author, the son of the author who is penning the screenplay, and I have issues with that movie, but to that guy's credit, he's like, no! I don't think you get this story. Like, how that's like doing Diary of Anne Frank and be like, can't she live? Schindler's List, you know? Well, can't the Nazis just pass out flowers instead of killing Jews? Like, it doesn't work that way.
No, to the credit of that movie, I don't think it's a good movie, but you can clearly see what they're going for, and parts of it
clearly
work.
See that he got his way, at least.
Yeah, like, and honestly...
But that's what they wanted to do, and like I could say, and see, here's the thing, I'll bet you the creative team behind this will not be as strong if notes start coming in, like, you know.
That'd be my guess, too, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't seen Ice Age 5, but if it's anything like the others, which are just...
I don't think it's
fucking
out yet. I think it's still in production.
Oh, really? See, there's so goddamn many of them that it's like... It doesn't even surprise me that there's another Ice Age. It's like, okay, fucking whatever.
Maybe this will be the surprise hit. It'll be like the Guardians of the Galaxy of the Ice Age.
Be like, no, really.
The fifth one
Ice
was
Age
really
5.
amazing. You wouldn't believe it.
I saw the first.
It was like Paddington.
I saw the first one. I saw bits of the second one. They sucked. I know there's people that like, and there's an audience. And fair enough, there's nothing like, you know, oh, that's gonna mess with your mind or anything, but I thought it sucked.
I've seen only the first two.
If I had to hear John Leguizamo is that fucking thing.
Okay, I give you that. And I also give the point that it should have really been the whole time about what's this way, Scratch, or the little squirrel.
Yeah, the little non-talking squirrel. Like he's fun.
But as the first,
but even he got old as the movies kept going.
As the first two movies, I was indifferent to them, so don't dump all that hate on me like this. But I didn't love them. I didn't hate them. I was like they exist.
Yeah, I haven't seen 3 or 4 or, you know, friggin' whatever. But I mean, I guess when I say suck, it's like, it's not like, oh my god, this is hurting me. It's not that. It's more like, just, why am I watching this? There is no point to watching this.
So right now we've got Yeah, in the 2D world, we've got
God.
the SpongeBob movie.
Only the first few minutes of that are hand drawn. The rest is 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we
The
got
best
nothing.
we can do is the SpongeBob movie.
God
bless America.
No, I've said I would love to see another hand drawn. But I know they're expensive. I know people see them more as kid stuff. I mean,
I get it,
hopefully
like,
Adventure Time will.
I've got people telling me left and right,
Yeah.
SpongeBob's movie's really good. You have to see it. It's really, really
I'm
good.
sure it's fine.
First off, I wasn't a huge fan of SpongeBob to begin with, so it's not going to make a difference if it's not somebody's thing. But even if it's really good, we're not like
It's not hand-drawn.
Secret of NIMH SpongeBob. Like it's not gonna compare.
Well, no, and it's not. It's not hand drawn. If you're talking about 2D, I mean, it's like.
I heard there was way more hand drawn than supposedly we were led to believe.
Oh, okay.
That the 3D portion is actually the last part, which confused me because I'm like, if I were a kid and liked CGI, I would have been disappointed going in to find out that was just the last. I don't know. I hear different things, but it would have required me to go see.
I actually would. I'm
not a SpongeBob person, so I don't. Anybody who watches SpongeBob is fine. I don't judge them. It's just not my thing.
I'm not anti-SpongeBob. I'm not. I mean, it's fine for what it is.
SpongeBob is what it is. He is a talking sponge that lives under the sea.
In a pineapple.
In a pineapple.
So. Yeah, got a little side rail there, but that's our thoughts on the Secret NIMH movie.
I guess all we have to look forward to is Adventure Time.
Yeah, which they'll make that CG too.
I'm way more looking forward to that. If they do that 2D, I'm way more looking forward to that at least than, the NIMH remake or SpongeBob 2 Electric Boogaloo. It's
so pretty how they do it on the small screen. I love to see how they do it on the big screen. So I'm curious to see what they come up with. But yeah, like I said, just once a week we'll talk about just any kind of movie news or so on and so forth. And yeah, we also got honest nostalgia critic opinions coming up too. So we're actually gonna film that right after this. So we'll see you there. Take care.